Okay, so another element of your assignments will be that you validate your HTML. So if you go to validator.w3.org, that link's also in Canvas, this is the screen that will come up, and this is specifically validating HTML. We'll use another validator for CSS later on. You can validate your HTML three different ways. If you have your GitHub Pages site set up, you can put in the URL right here and it'll check the online site. If you don't have it up there yet or it's not working the way you want, you can check it by using file upload, where you just upload the HTML file itself. You can also validate by direct input, and that's just copying and pasting your code in. So we're going to use the file upload in this video as an example, and I have some example pages in here. So I'm going to use validate2.html first and just show you some common errors that I see come through on validation. So I'm going to check, and I have errors found while checking this document. So anytime that I get a red, then you would be losing your points for validation. So you want to make sure you clear all of these errors. Down here it's going to tell you exactly where your errors are. And oftentimes, if you start on the first one, it will solve the remaining ones. So in this case, it's telling me in line 6, it doesn't allow a body here. And then it's not going to allow the element head here. So clearly something happened in the ordering of my tags in line 6 and line 8. And then line 31, we'll see if the other issues solve that problem. So when I come to my code over here in Atom, I can see, yes, in line 6, I have body before head. And if you remember the order, then body is what you actually see on the site, head is in the metadata. So we don't want the body to open before the head. So we're going to move that tag just down here after the closing head tag and save that. And I'm going to see if that alone will fix my problem and my errors. So I'm just going to upload that again and revalidate. And I got successfully checked as XHTML. And so that would give you your points for validation. I'm going to look at a few more examples here. So in this example, we'll see what we got. 3 errors. So document type does not allow element P here. Missing some issues here in a start tag. So we're going to go and just start with this one, because as you remember, then solving the first one can often help you solve the rest of them. So over here in validate 3, so let's see, here we go. Okay, so I have a paragraph here, it opens and closes, and then I have another open paragraph tag and another open, but I don't have a closing paragraph tag on this here as a joke line. So let's see what happens when I fix that problem. Choose file, validate 3, open, revalidate, and now I've passed. So just sometimes fixing one issue will solve the rest of your issues. I'm going to keep going to get through the rest of these here. Validate 4, revalidate, 1 error, attribute alt not specified. So we see this a lot. If you remember, the image tag needs the alt attribute. That makes for better accessibility of your website. So this is a validate 4, line 19. So to get this one to pass over here in image source, I would need to add my alt text here. I'm going to keep moving along and choose 5. So I've got 2 errors on this one. Literal is missing closing delimiter, line 19. So let's go look at line 19 and validate 5. Okay, so if you look here, so I've got an anchor tag with a link, a mail to, linking an image. I open my image tag. I got source bb88.jpg, but look at this. I see how it continues to be green, and it's getting a little confused there. So it looks like we're missing my closing quote marks. So it can be as simple as that. Another thing you notice is that things are off all the way down on my colors, that this is green and not gray. So there's clearly breaks the code through the rest of the way. So I'm going to put that quote mark in there, and that would solve my issues on that one. On 6, revalidate. 2 errors. End tag for A omitted, but omit tag no was specified, so we're going to go look at line 23 in this file. Line 23. Okay, so I have a list item, and I am using an anchor tag to link that list item. But if you look at this, so I open my list item, and then I open my anchor tag, put the link in. This is the text that's in the list item. But if you see this, I have mistaken the order of these. So you've got to nest your tags, so you've got to make sure you close that anchor tag before you close the list item tag. So switching those would give me a clean validation. So I open list item first, and so I need to close list item last. And one more example here. So end tag for body omitted. So something's going on in line 27. Seems I forgot to fix a closing tag. So I can see there I open body, but I don't have a closing body tag. So I'm going to go ahead and close that. So if you remember in the previous videos, I always try to, when I open something like the body tag, I always try to put the closing tag in at the same time so I don't forget that step. One other thing I want to note here is it shows you, here's where the start tag was. So if you're trying to place, okay, I thought I had all that done, where was this opening and closing? It'll send you back to the right line. And if you're working in something that has multiple, like hundreds of lines of code, that becomes extremely valuable. The other valuable point in validation is that if something's not working on your site and you just can't figure it out, sometimes it is something as simple as a quote mark not being closed. So using the validation service will kind of help you pinpoint where that mistake might be. So running that validation could really help you figure out where you've messed up your code. So it's a useful tool not just to get the points on your assignment, but also to figure out and help troubleshoot your code and what the issues are. That's all for this series of videos.